Welcome, ciao, this is Davide Travelli, Alaska to Patagonia. Today we're gonna do an unboxing and long-term review of the MSR Hubba Hubba tent. And is a long-term review because this is new. It's a replacement of the tent that I used for the past over 3 years now. And so I can give you a pretty good review of this tent. I use it in all sorts of climate, in tropical rainstorms, in sandstorms in the desert at minus 22 Celsius in Bolivia, and I'd use it at plus 50 degrees Celsius in the Sahara Desert in Sudan. So I think I have a pretty good experience with the Hubba Hubba tent. The review is gonna have the video is gonna have timestamps, so if you want to jump into the next session and you want to skip one, you can do so very easily. Have a look at the timestamps down below. If you're looking for a guide how to choose the tent for your adventure, a few months ago I published a video with my criterias for choosing a tent for your adventure. So I'm gonna put a card here, a link to the video that I published a couple of months ago, and you can have a look at that video, and I go through all the criteria to choose a tent. In this video, I'm gonna tell you why I choose this tent, the characteristic of this tent. I'm gonna do an unboxing, so you'll see what's in what comes with the tent when it's new. I'm gonna show you how to pitch the tent, and then we'll do a walk around the tent and inside the tent, and I'll give you my final thoughts. The Hubba Hubba is definitely one of the most popular tent among bike travelers, and it's popular because it basically fill all the criterias that I talked about in my guide on choosing a tent for your bike adventure. It has a good balance in terms of weight between the super duper ultra light tent and the more heavier tent. It's still considered a light, ultra light tent, and it's around 1.6 kilos. It has a one pole system that is very easy to pitch. It's 100% freestanding, and it's easy to pitch. You can pitch it in the rain, starting from the fly sheet, and then pitch the inner tent. So it has a very few options. It's quite roomy. It has 2 vestibules where you can store your gears, and it has 2 entrances, left and right, and it also have like little vents that are little windowing in on the tail and the head. For being a light tent, it's quite sturdy, and it's quite strong, and it protects pretty well from the elements. I use it in, as I said, in cold weather, but most importantly, I use it in sandstorms, Patagonian winds, tropical rainstorms. I had all sorts of weather with this tent, and it's quite durable, to be honest. It's very popular, first of all, because of MSR customer service that I think it's outstanding. The tent is also fully freestanding, 100%. It has 2 side entries, so independent entries if you're using with 2 people, and that's also very good if you're just a solo traveler, because it gives you the option when you pitch it. It has also 2 vestibules. They are very roomy, so you can store loads of gear and protect it from the rain. You can also like put partially your bike under the vestibule, and that's kind of a security thing as well, because you can stake down the vestibule and it's in between parts of your bike, and if someone wants to steal your bike, they have to take down your tent basically. Another thing to mention is that the vestibule, the opening on the vestibule has some rain gutters built in, so when you open and close it, you don't get water fell into the vestibule, and that's another good thing. It's also quite roomy. I like the dimension of this tent. I used it alone because I really enjoy a little bit extra real estate, but I also share it with another person for a short period of time, and it was quite good, to be honest. Another thing that I like compared to my first tent that I had to replace when I got to Panama, because in Alaska I was damaged a lot by a black bear that walked on top of my tent, is the fact that the clips of the inner tent, where the inner tent clips to the pole system, they are much softer of the tent that I had, and I didn't have to manage damage my skin in extreme weather conditions. I also choose it because I really like the color. Now the green color is only available in Europe. It's not available in North America, but here in Europe we are very lucky because it's a color that it's very good when you do wild camping, and when you don't want to be spotted from very far away with a very bright color. The floor dimension in centimeters, it's 213 by 127, and in inches is 84 by 50 inches for 2.7 square meters of floor area, or 29 square feet. The vestibule is also pretty generous, is 1.62 square meters, so 0.81 plus 0.81, and in feet is the total vestibule area is 17.5 square feet, is 8.75 by 2 basically. The Rainfly fabric is a 20D ripstop nylon with 1200 millimeters Durashield polyurethane and silicone coating. The floor fabric is a 30D ripstop nylon 3000 millimeters Durashield polyurethane and DWR coating. Now those are the characteristics for the Hubba Hubba NX in Europe. Because let's address the elephant in the room. There are two different Hubba Hubba currently available on the market. One is made in the US, so it's available only for the American market, and one is made in Europe and it's only available in the European market. So basically in the European market there is the old model and it's continued to be produced. In the American market there is a new model, and the new model has two main difference from the older model. It has a different poles. They are not in aluminum like the one that is available in Europe, and it has a different coating and a different stitching. So let's start from the coating. The new coating is supposed to be much more durable, and it's supposed to prevent the rainfly to get sticky, and it has precision stitching. So the seam were not taped for seam proofing. For a few months, that's how the tent was sold. Then the MSR went back and changed their manufacturing procedure, and they started to proofing the seams. I think they use seam grip at the fabric to waterproof all the seams. Now this is for the Rainfly. The other thing that is different, and that's the main difference that I would like to see in Europe, but it's not, it's the cyclone poles. They are not poles in aluminum, but it's a new material that is virtually indestructible. You can bend the poles almost 360 degrees and they go back to their natural shape. That's so if you live in the US, very good, because or in Canada, it's very good because I would love to have to have those poles. Now, because I don't want to make a mistake, and I reached out to MSR, I'm gonna read you what they came back to me about the difference between the materials and the colors between US and between North America and Europe. So here I read, on the seam sealing, the U version has Durashield, which already has sealed seams. The Extreme Shield version is the one the US have, which is precision stitched and not seam sealed, which is why the US have chosen to add seam sealant to bump up waterproof protection. This is about the shield. Then I asked also why there are differences between colors and why certain colors are available only in Europe. This is the on the record quote for the colors that many people ask. The green Rainfly is exclusive to the EU because of the strict wild camping rules in some countries, mostly the UK. Green is a more subtle shade, ideal for when you want to remain hidden in the wild. The US did have the green option for a long time, but it wasn't popular at all, so they removed it. In the US, wild camping is pretty restriction free, so folks tend to be happier with bolder colors like gray and red. So there you have it. Here is the unboxing of the tent. Obviously, if you follow me, I already opened it because I went on top of Mount Misma to test it, and then I had problems with my back. So it's not folded as it was before, but then I'll show you what's the best way I found to fold it. It's impossible to fold it as it was. This is the inner tent, and then we will see when we pitch it. Then we find the bags with the pole system. You see it, and then also I'll show you how the one pole system works later. There is the Rainfly, a fly sheet, and then we have our little pouch with all the stakes. They should be 10, I think. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then I'm gonna show you how you use the stake as well. And this is its bag. I really like it because it has a wide opening, and on this side there is also the instructions on how to pitch the tent. It's basically printed on this material. When you pitch it, first you want to find some an area that is pretty flat, and then basically you throw the inner tent. Once you lay down your inner tent, you can either put your poles in place, or to be more safe, you can stake down the inner tent. So in this case we'll stake it down, but 90% of the time I never stake it down. We use these loops here, and you just put the stake down. Next you do this for the other 4 corners. Sometimes I start from one stake, I go to the opposite one. Now that we stake down our inner tent, we take out the poles, and we gently fit together the poles. We want to make sure that they don't snap too harsh together, but we gently guide them one in another. Make sure they fit all inside properly, because if you leave them like this, for example, when you go and bend the pole, when you fit it in the inner tent, it might snap or it might start to crack. So make sure they are all in properly. So you start inserting one pole into this aluminum little hole. The other one. And then you continue fitting the pole together. And you fit this end inside. Not sure you can see it. This other end. Now the plastic has to be on top. It can be fitted this way as well, but fit it always with the plastic knob on top. You grab this loop here, you fit it there, now we just need now to fit the clips to the poles. Very simple. See, they are pretty soft. Nice. The weather is hot, but even when it's cold, they are not too hard. Some tents are very, very hard. So in total, there are 8 clips. The inner tent now is pitched. You can see the side entrance. Now we pitch the Rainfly and we need to pay attention to the color webbing. On the head there is a red webbing, and at the tail there is gray webbing. So this is to align the entrance of the tent with the entrance of the fly sheet. It's not a big deal if you mix it up, but it makes easier going in and out of your tent. We grab our red webbing, and usually you pitch the tent where the wind blows. So usually it's pretty easy. If there is a bit of wind, you just do this and it's there. I usually start in the middle because there is this aluminum loop that goes into the poles in the middle. You can go around and it's super easy to fit the other one as well, like this. And then we go and we grab our red webbing and we fit it. We fit it where there is this aluminum. Gray webbing. Now we grab 2 extra stakes and we stake down the vestibules like so. Second vestibule, and then you can tension the whole 4 corners, pulling this down so there is more tension. If there is condensation, it's all is better as well. If it's rain, you want it to be pretty tensioned, because when these materials get wet, they tend to get a little bigger. So then we open our little window. They're not a window, but they're basically vents for air flowing to reduce ventilation. So there is one at the head and one at the tail, and that's it. We pitched our Hubba Hubba. It's nice and green. Nobody's gonna spot us from very far. The extra stake, there are 4 extra stakes, and it's to stake down these guy lines in case it gets very windy. There is one on each corner. This is new. It was not. This is because the tent is new. But yeah, just take it down. Very simple, very easy. You can either open it like this, or we can further opening if we remove the stake. And here we can open and go inside our tent. I remove the shoes because I don't want to damage my tent. As you can see, it's pretty roomy. If I lay down, there is a lot of room because I'm not 2 meters and 13 centimeters, so it's loads of room. Inside the tent there is also these pockets where you can store a few things, your mobile phone, your headlamp, whatever. There is another one at the top here. These are just, I think they have to put it for legislation, but these you should cut it and just toss it away. And also these one can be fitted like so. If you want to keep it open. And then on the top there are these 4 loops, and you can either fit like an object holder, or you can fit some lantern, some lamp, or some people also fit a line to dry their clothes. There are several alternative ways to pitch your Hubba Hubba tent, and you can pitch it with the ground sheet and the fly sheet, or for example with the fly sheet only. And I'm gonna show you now how to do it. And this is how you pitch the Hubba Hubba, starting from the Rainfly, as you can see. And this could be handy in situation where there is a rainstorm and you want to create a temporary shelter for yourself in a few minutes, or when it's raining heavily and you have to set up camp for the night and you don't want to get your inner tent wet. You pitch your Rainfly first, and then once that's done, you pitch you basically put up, you fit your inner tent. Of course, if you have a ground sheet with 4 loops at the corner, it's much quicker to do it. But again, if you don't want to get the ground sheet wet, you can do it this way. Let's see the 10th pitch again. Nice walk around. 2 openings. We can see through the other side. And let's go in. Welcome to my crib. Okay, I close myself in because a wasp just got in. There it is. Look at the wasp. But you can see it's very roomy. Even I can see it, and I still have plenty of room. I can sit up, but I still have a bit of room, so you can get dressed and get undressed pretty comfortably inside. This is my. Now I should have staked it a bit more, so it would be a little roomier. But you can see, like, this is a large. No, this is a regular Thermarest Newer, and even if I get it a bit closer to the head, see, you have plenty of room. Like this is attached to the head, and there is plenty of room to store even your gear. Or you can put it at the top, and there is room at the head, and you can fit, as you can see, you can fit 2 of those, and still you have a bit of room for your gear. As I said, this is a great tent for solo traveling because you have loads of space to store your gear, to lay around. It's great, especially if you spend a few days somewhere. It's great to have room. But also, if you are a couple, you still have a bit of room for your gear. And I think this would be my choice, even if I was a couple, because probably a 3-person tent is a bit too big. It's because sometimes you only find little spaces, little flat areas where you can pitch your tent. So probably this would be my choice, even if I was a couple. But as I said, it's a good balance between weight and durability. It's not super duper ultra light, and it's not heavy. It's that right spot in the middle that I really like. I would love to see and try the new poles that are available for the new Hubba Hubba in the American market. Unfortunately, they're not available in Europe. But even with these poles, I never split a pole in half. I never damaged the poles. So I think it's a great solution. This is the best way I found to fold the Hubba Hubba inner tent, is to fold it in 2 like this, from the red side, the red webbing, then get to the tail, and basically start to fold it like this. I usually put the ground sheet underneath my inner tent, so it's usually clean and dry. Well, dry, not always, but it's always clean. And that's it. And then you put it in your bag. Well, I need to remove the label. But I don't want to leave any dirt in nature, so I'll do it when I get home. and then you can compress it even further. Well, you get the idea. That's all for the Hubba Hubba NX. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you find value in this review. Please hit the like button if you did. Subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao!